She yelled, "You don't control what I do with my life," after canceling our weekend plans for a girls' trip. I said calmly, "You're absolutely right." 3 days later, when she came home and saw what was missing, she didn't say a word, just sat down and started shaking. I'm Derek, 34, and I'd been living with my girlfriend Andrea for 2 years. We'd been together for 5 years total, met through mutual friends at a concert, fell into that easy kind of relationship where everything just worked. Or so I thought. The problem started about 6 months ago. Andrea became increasingly flaky with plans. She'd commit to something, dinner with my parents, a weekend trip we'd been planning, even just a quiet night in, and then cancel last minute. Always with an excuse that sounded reasonable on the surface. Work emergency, friend crisis, feeling under the weather. 1 or 2 times, fine. But it became a pattern. The breaking point happened 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday night. We'd been planning a weekend getaway to this cabin in the mountains for over a month. I'd taken Friday off work, packed our hiking gear, made reservations at a restaurant she'd been wanting to try. Thursday evening, I came home to find Andrea on the couch, phone in hand, smiling at the screen. "Hey," I said, setting down my work bag. "All packed for tomorrow?" She looked up, and I saw something shift in her expression. Guilt, maybe, or calculation. "About that," she started. "Jess called. Her boyfriend just broke up with her and she's devastated. A bunch of the girls are putting together a last-minute trip to the beach to cheer her up. They're leaving tomorrow morning." I felt my jaw tighten. "We've had this cabin planned for over a month. I know, and I'm sorry. But Jess really needs me right now." She's completely falling apart. "Can't the other girls handle it?" "You made a commitment to me. Derek, she's my best friend. I can't just abandon her when she's going through something this painful. And what about abandoning our plans? This is the 3rd time this month you've canceled on me." She stood up, phone still in her hand. "I'm not canceling on you. I'm being there for a friend who needs me. There's a difference." "Is there?" "Because from where I'm standing, it feels like everyone else's needs come before our relationship. That's not fair. I'm allowed to have friendships. I'm allowed to be there for people who need me. I'm not saying you can't have friendships. I'm saying I'm tired of being the fallback option, the thing you fit in when nothing better comes up." Her face flushed red. "Nothing better? Are you serious right now? My best friend is heartbroken and you're making this about you?" "I'm making this about the pattern, Andrea, about how I plan things and you cancel them, about how I'm starting to feel like I don't matter to you anymore." "Oh my God, you're so controlling." She threw her hands up. "You don't control what I do with my life." I looked at her for a long moment. She was breathing hard, face still flushed, holding her phone like it was a shield. And I realized something in that moment. I was done fighting. "You're absolutely right," I said calmly. "I don't control what you do with your life." She seemed surprised by my sudden shift in tone. "So, you understand why I need to go?" "I understand perfectly. Have a good trip." I walked into the bedroom and closed the door. I heard her moving around the apartment for a bit, heard the front door open and close around 9. She texted me later. "Staying at Jess's place tonight. We're leaving early tomorrow. I'll be back Monday evening. Love you." I didn't respond. That night, I did something I'm not proud of, but also don't regret. I went through Andrea's laptop while she was gone. I'd never done it before. Always trusted her, always believed in privacy. But something about her reaction, about the way she'd been so quick to yell and deflect, made my gut twist. I found her messages with Jess easily enough. They used the laptop messaging app. And there, in plain text, was the truth I'd been trying not to see. There was no breakup. Jess's boyfriend was fine. The beach trip was real, but it had been planned for 3 weeks. Andrea had known about it when we booked the cabin. She'd just been trying to figure out how to get out of our trip without looking like the bad guy. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the other messages. Messages with someone named Tyler. Flirty messages that went back months. Nothing explicitly physical, but the emotional affair was obvious. Inside jokes, complaints about me, promises to finally hang out properly when timing was better. And then I found it. A message from Tyler from 2 days ago. Can't wait for this weekend. Beach house is going to be perfect. Tyler was going on the girls' trip. I sat there with her laptop open, reading message after message, feeling something cold settle into my chest. Not rage, exactly. Something calmer and more final than rage. I spent Friday and Saturday thinking, planning. By Sunday afternoon, I knew what I had to do. I'd contributed about 60% of our shared expenses over the 2 years we'd lived together. The apartment lease was in both our names, but I'd paid the security deposit. Most of the furniture was mine from before we moved in together. The TV, the couch, the bed, the kitchen table, all mine. She'd brought some decorations, her books, her clothes, but the functional parts of our home were largely my stuff. Sunday evening, I called my brother and 2 friends. I need help moving tomorrow. Can you guys help me out? They showed up Monday morning with a truck. By noon, I'd moved out everything that was mine. The couch, the TV and entertainment center, the bed and mattress, the kitchen table and chairs, the coffee maker, the good pots and pans, the microwave, my clothes, my books, my personal items. All of it, gone. What I left behind was a nearly empty apartment. Her decorations on bare walls, her clothes in an empty bedroom with no bed, her books on the floor where the bookshelf used to be. The kitchen had her dishes and cheap cookware she'd had since college, but no table to eat at, no good appliances to cook with. I also left behind a note on the kitchen counter, the only surface left to put it on. Andrea, you're right. I don't control what you do with your life, but I do control what I do with mine. I found the messages, with Jess, with Tyler, all of it. I know Tyler went on your girls' trip. I know you've been lying to me for months. The lease is in both our names, so legally you have as much right to stay as I do. But everything that was mine is now at my new place. You can keep the apartment if you want it. The rent is due on the 1st. Don't contact me. We're done. Derek. I left my key on top of the note and walked out. Update 1. I spent Monday afternoon and evening settling into my new apartment, a smaller place across town that I'd found and put a deposit on over the weekend. My brother helped me set everything up. Around 7 p.m., my phone started buzzing. 17 missed calls from Andrea, 12 text messages that progressively went from confused to angry to panicked. Where is everything? Derek, what the hell? Did you break in and take our stuff? This is insane. You can't just take everything. Please call me. We need to talk. I can explain about Tyler. It's not what you think. Please, Derek, I'm freaking out. Where am I supposed to sleep? There's no bed. This is crazy. I'm calling the police. I blocked her number. She tried calling from other numbers. Friends' phones, I assumed. I blocked those too. She showed up at my new place around 9 p.m. I'd anticipated this and hadn't told her the address, but she must have gotten it from my brother or one of my friends somehow. I didn't answer the door. Just listened to her knock and call my name for 20 minutes before she finally left. My brother called me around 10. Andrea's been calling me. She's losing it, man. Says you stole all her furniture. It's my furniture. I bought it. I took it. I know, but damn. She's saying she has nowhere to sleep. She has an apartment. She can buy a bed, like an adult. Fair enough. Just wanted to give you a heads up that she's going scorched earth. Calling everyone we know, telling them you abandoned her without warning. Let her talk. Anyone who matters will hear my side. Tuesday morning, I got a call from our former landlord. Derek, I've got Andrea here saying you removed all the furniture from the apartment. Is this a situation I need to be concerned about? Everything I removed was mine. I paid for it before we moved in together. She has no legal claim to any of it. But I'm off the lease as of today. I'm emailing you formal notice right now. She's saying she can't afford the rent on her own. That's not my problem anymore. She has 30 days to figure it out, same as any tenant. I sent the formal notice, copied Andrea on it. The lease had a clause allowing either party to terminate with 30 days' notice as long as rent was paid through the notice period. I paid my half of the next month's rent. What Andrea did after that was up to her. Tuesday afternoon, Jess called me. I'd forgotten to block her number. Derek, you need to calm down and talk to Andrea. You can't just destroy her life like this over a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? She's been emotionally cheating on me for months. She lied about the trip. Tyler was there with you, wasn't he? Silence. That's what I thought. You helped her lie to me, Jess. You're not the friend to call here. Tyler's just a friend. Nothing happened between them. I read the messages. Maybe nothing physical happened, but she was building a backup relationship while stringing me along. That's not nothing. She loves you, Derek. She made a mistake. No, she made a series of choices. And now, I'm making mine. Don't call me again. I blocked her too. Update 2. Wednesday evening, I got a call from my mom. Derek, honey, what's going on? Andrea's mother just called me very upset. I explained everything. The canceled plans, the lies, the messages with Tyler, finding out about the emotional affair. My mom listened without interrupting. So you took all the furniture? She asked when I finished. I took my furniture. Everything I'd purchased before we lived together or that I'd paid for during, she has her belongings. She just doesn't have the furniture I provided. That seems harsh. Maybe. But I'm done being the person who sacrifices and compromises while she does whatever she wants. She told me I don't control her life, so I removed myself from it. Completely. My mom was quiet for a moment. Your father did something similar when his first marriage ended, took everything that was his and left her with an empty house. I always thought it was cruel when he told me that story. And now? Now I understand it better. Sometimes you need to make a clean break. Just be prepared for the fallout. The fallout came Thursday. Andrea posted on social media. A long, emotional post about how her boyfriend of 5 years had stolen everything from their apartment while she was away helping a friend. How she'd come home to an empty apartment and a cruel note. How she was now effectively homeless and destitute. The post blew up. People I barely knew were commenting, calling me abusive, controlling, psychotic. She'd framed it perfectly. The heartbroken girlfriend abandoned by her cruel ex, who took everything and left her with nothing. She didn't mention Tyler. She didn't mention the lies or the emotional affair. Just painted herself as the victim. I didn't respond publicly. Instead, I messaged 3 of our mutual friends privately. People I trusted. People who knew both of us well. I sent them screenshots of Andrea's messages with Tyler, with Jess about planning the fake trip, all of it. I'm not asking you to pick sides, I wrote. I'm just asking you to know the full truth before judging me. 2 of them thanked me for showing them. The 3rd told me I was still wrong for how I'd handled it, that 2 wrongs don't make a right. I accepted that. Not everyone would understand. By Friday, the narrative started shifting. The friends I'd sent screenshots to had apparently shared them, with my permission. Suddenly, Andrea's post had comments asking about Tyler, asking why she'd lied about the trip, asking why she was conveniently leaving out the cheating. Andrea deleted the post Friday evening. Update 3. Saturday morning, I woke up to an email from Andrea. Subject line, please read this. Derek, I know you've blocked me everywhere, but I'm hoping you'll read this email. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not even asking for us to get back together. I just need you to understand what actually happened. Tyler and I never slept together. We never even kissed. He's a friend I met through work, and yes, I developed feelings for him. But I never acted on them physically. I kept him at a distance because I was with you. I know that doesn't excuse the emotional part. I know I was wrong to confide in him about our relationship problems, to let it become what it became. But I never actually cheated on you in the way you think I did. The trip wasn't about Tyler. It was about me needing space to figure out what I wanted. I've been feeling trapped and confused for months. I didn't know how to talk to you about it. What you did, leaving me with nothing, taking everything while I was gone, abandoning me without warning, that was cruel. I know you're hurt, but what you did hurt me too. I came home to an empty apartment and I sat down on the floor and I couldn't stop shaking. Everything was gone. You were gone. Our whole life together, just erased. I'm not asking for the furniture back. I'm not asking for anything except maybe some basic human compassion. I'm staying with Jess now. I couldn't afford the apartment alone, so I gave notice. I'm starting over from nothing at 32 years old. If you ever cared about me at all, please at least acknowledge that what you did was extreme. Please give me that much. Andrea. I read it 3 times, felt the guilt try to creep in, felt the part of me that had loved her for 5 years want to respond, want to apologize, want to make it better. Then I closed the email and deleted it. Because here's what she still didn't get. I didn't do what I did to hurt her. I did it to free myself. Every piece of furniture I took, every item I removed, it wasn't revenge. It was reclaiming my life. She wanted space to figure out what she wanted? Fine. Now she has all the space in the world, and I have mine. Final update. It's been 6 weeks now. I've settled into my new place, made it feel like home. The apartment is smaller, but it's fully mine. No shared lease, no shared furniture, no shared anything. Just me and my stuff and the life I'm rebuilding. I've heard through mutual friends that Andrea is doing okay. She got a new apartment with a roommate, bought some secondhand furniture. She and Tyler apparently tried dating officially, but it fizzled out after 2 weeks. Turns out the fantasy was better than the reality. A few people still think I'm a monster for what I did. They see taking the furniture as this vindictive, cruel act. Maybe they're right. Maybe there was a better way to handle it. But I sleep fine at night. The apartment might have been half empty when she came home, but our relationship had been empty for months before that. I just finally had the clarity to see it and the courage to end it completely. Jess tried to reach out once more about 3 weeks ago. A long text about how Andrea was struggling, how she'd made mistakes but didn't deserve to be punished like this. I didn't block her this time. Just responded with, "She made her choices. I made mine. We're done here." My brother asked me last week if I had any regrets. About leaving? No, I said. About how I did it? Sometimes. But Andrea spent months lying to me, building a connection with another guy while keeping me as her backup. She yelled at me for wanting basic respect and commitment. What was I supposed to do? Keep fighting for someone who clearly didn't want to be there? You could have just moved out normally, given her warning. I could have, but would she have learned anything? Would she have felt the actual impact of her choices? Or would she have just spun it as me being unreasonable, me being controlling? He didn't have an answer to that. I've been on a couple dates, nothing serious yet. I'm not in a rush. For the first time in years, I'm actually enjoying being alone. Enjoying having space that's completely mine, making plans I know won't get canceled, living life without constantly wondering if I'm someone's second choice. Andrea sent me one more email 2 weeks ago. Just 2 lines. "I hope you're happy. I hope this was worth it." I almost responded. Almost told her that yes, I am happy. That leaving was the best decision I've made in years. That she did me a favor by showing me who she really was. But I didn't. Because the truth is, she doesn't matter anymore. What she thinks doesn't matter. Whether she understands why I left doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm free. The furniture, the apartment, the shared life, all of it was weighing me down. And when I took it all away, when I left her with that empty space, I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was trying to show her what she'd already done to me. Edit. Some people are asking if I feel guilty about the furniture situation. Sometimes, yes. But then I remember coming home to a half-packed apartment countless times, remember the canceled plans, remember reading those messages with Tyler. The furniture was mine. Taking what's mine isn't theft, and it's not revenge. It's just boundaries. Edit 2. No, I haven't heard from Andrea directly since that last email. I have her blocked on everything. Friends tell me she's moved on and is doing fine. Good for her. I've moved on too. Edit 3. For everyone saying I should have just broken up with her like a normal person, I did. The note was the breakup. Taking my furniture was just the punctuation mark.